Hello and welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title of this, we're going to be talking about Black Panther. Everyone has been talking about this upcoming film. The internet buzz has been off the roof and I'm just excited for this film. I think that it's going to be a monumental film for Marvel, and I think it's going to be a shift in tone, especially in Hollywood, as this film just does well at the box office. Great expectations for this film. There has been so much talk about Black Panther. Some people plain don't know about him. They keep asking, who is he? What are his superpowers? Where does he come from? What is he about? And I'm here to talk about all of this and give my added perspective as someone from the continent. So let's just go into this right now. So let's start off with the Black Panther movie announcement. On October the 28th of 2014, Marvel Studios made a major announcement citing Black Panther as one of the several films to be created in Phase 3. In January 2016, Marvel officially confirmed that Ryan Coogler had been hired to direct the movie The Black Panther, set to be released in February 16th, 2018. So who is the Black Panther? The Black Panther, T'Challa, is a fictional superhero appearing in Marvel Comics created by writer-editor Stan Lee and penciler and co-plotter Jack Kirby. The Black Panther is a title given to the leader of the fictional African nation of Wakanda, situated in equatorial Africa, which is one of the world's most technologically advanced nations. He is also chief of its various tribes, collectively referred to as the Wakandas. So let's go into some facts about the superhero. He is a skilled hunter, tracker, strategist, politician, inventor, and scientist. He has a PhD in physics from Oxford University, considered one of the 8 smartest people on the planet. He is a genius in physics and advanced technology, and is a brilliant inventor. T'Challa is a rigorously trained gymnast and an acrobat, and he is a master in various African martial arts, as well as contemporary martial arts and fighting styles that belong to no known disciplines. As chieftain of the Wakanda Panther clan, he is one of the wealthiest people in the world due to the value of Wakanda's vast vibranium reserves and extremely advanced technologies. T'Challa, Prince of Wakanda, who is now the king, must rise and take the mantle of the Black Panther after his father, the king, was treacherously killed. A bit of a spoiler warning here. This is seen in Captain America Civil War, so we remember that scene where his father was killed by Baron Zemo, who was trying to cause a rift between the members of the Avengers team. So let's give this a quick summary. The Black Panther embraces the image of an African character as a strong, independent hero. It also casts a beautiful portrait of Africans as technologically advanced and forward-thinking people, while keeping touch with the natural beauty of our surroundings. Now let's go into Wakanda. Wakanda is an African nation in the Marvel Universe, located in equatorial Africa, as I said before, and it is ruled by the Black Panther. It is technologically superior to most developed nations and rich in natural resources, particularly the rare metal vibranium. Wakanda is depicted as existing in a fictional point where Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, and Ethiopia meet. As for vibranium, you've heard me mention it a couple of times. It is a fictional metal, most commonly known as one of the materials used to construct Captain America's shield and the Black Panther armor, and it is referred to simply as vibranium. It is an extremely rare substance and is native to the African nation of Wakanda. It also possesses unique properties, including the ability to absorb vibrations as well as kinetic energy directed at it. We saw this in Captain America Civil War. The vibranium in the Black Panther's suit makes him bulletproof, and we saw this. He was even struck by high-caliber bullets and was seemingly unfazed. He also has fingernails in his suit that are made of vibranium, which can be retracted, and those fingernails were shown to be able to cut through almost anything. Back to Chadwick Boseman, though. I love the fact that, talking now about Chadwick Boseman's character T'Challa, that he has an embodiment of a character that I believe is instilled in so many Africans, in that despite the fact that he was royalty, he never came across as self-aware or flippant. He had proper respect for everyone who he came into contact with. You know, even if they were deferring to him and calling him Your Highness, he had a humility about him. And I love the fact that even though especially after his father was killed and he went on that revenge mission, I love the fact that he was able to admit that he was wrong and take a step back from himself and come to himself actually, and just say that that is not what would have honored his father, and still not letting Zemo off the hook, making sure that he had proper justice brought to him. But I love that about this character, and it just makes for a more rounded superhero. So let's get into his powers and abilities. T'Challa's strength is enhanced beyond the peak of human potential, moving into the early levels of superhuman condition. This is shown clearly, as we've said, in many scenes in Captain America Civil War. He was able to fight and gain the upper hand against many of the Avengers, including the Winter Soldier, Captain America himself, Hawkeye, just to name a few. And he has superhuman speed. T'Challa can run and move at speed beyond the peak of human potential. That's why he was able to be on par with Captain America and the Winter Soldier, who we must remember are both enhanced, and was fast enough to easily outrun moving vehicles. We saw that he has superhuman agility, the cat-like reflexes that he was portraying, and superhuman reflexes. Once again, portrayed in that battle with Hawkeye when he caught those arrows and he didn't even flinch. But we see that he's not only powerful in his vibranium armor, but even out of suit, on a hand-to-hand combat level, he is extremely skilled as a martial artist, having been trained vigorously to become a warrior and protector of Wakanda. He has a very unique fighting style, very artistic and very stylistic. I'm looking forward to more of that. So his techniques combine African martial arts and contemporary martial arts as well. So, great fighting in store, guys. Now we're going to talk about his love interests in this film. We know that there are going to be a few. And so many of us were excited to see Lupita Nyong'o cast. But there is one other superhero that people have been looking forward to seeing in the Marvel Universe. Kind of like a dream, and we all know it. We know who she is. Storm. We do see that in the comics they had met as children, and the two were recently married in the Black Panther Volume 4, number 18 comic, with Storm becoming the Queen of Wakanda. But because of many issues, the marriage didn't last very long, leading to T'Challa annulling the marriage. But she has been his highest profile love interest, and we're hoping one day that they will be able to have this character cross over. We're kind of hoping as the fans that one day Fox and Marvel would be able to sort out whatever it is between them and we have a crossover of this character, because I think it would be amazing. Let me know what you think about that. But I do love Lupita Nyong'o, and I cannot wait to see what she does with the character Nakia, who is a part of the Dora Milaje. And while we're on that subject, and you're asking, who are these Dora Milaje? What are they? Who are they? I'll let you know. They are the personal bodyguards of the Black Panther, recruited from every tribe of Wakanda. And they are amazing fighters. If anything we've seen in the trailer is anything to go by. And I would not like to forget to speak about the villains that he will be facing off against in his film. classic villains of the Black Panther, we saw none other than Ulysses Claw, played by Andy Serkis, who popped up opposite Martin Freeman's CIA agent Everett K. Ross in the beginning of the movie's first teaser. And another mention is Eric Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan. So those aren't the only villains that he will be facing off against, but I would like to give those two honorable mentions. But since this is about Black Panther, let's stick to him. I love the fact that now we're going to see T'Challa standing up and trying to integrate Wakanda more into the world, because we must remember that Wakanda has just traditionally been an isolationist country. But now I see in the trailer that he is going to be trying to put forth the nation more in the face of the world and open up the lines of communication concerning the technology and the vibranium. But I think he's going to keep a watchful eye out for any misappropriation of the country's resources. But I find that so amazing. I think he's going to go up against a lot of opposition from those in Wakanda who have just traditionally liked the isolationist way. So that's going to be very interesting. And speaking of Wakanda, I've got to say that I love the design concept of the nation, as well as the different architectural influxes in the imagery, the earth tones, the vibrant colors. I think that I just love that the fact that they portray something that is so real. And I've got to say that I enjoyed the fact that there's that embracing in the Black Panther film of the modern and the historic, in one cohesive marriage on screen. And I think that is just so impressive. And yes, I've got to say it is refreshing. And I'm saying this as someone coming from the continent. And I think I speak for so many others as well, that for many years, mostly a negative narrative has dominated the imaginations of many. And I'm speaking particularly of the sub-Saharan region of Africa that has been singled out, as every kind of negative thing. I've got to say that I've had the privilege of having a first-hand experience of a scene that is unfolding daily. And it is a scene of an ever-improving, an ever-hopeful, and just a spectacular Africa, I'm telling you. And you've heard it said that Africa is the future, and from what I and so many people witness over here, that is no exaggeration. The African landscape is changing. It is emerging as something innovative, and it is actually just an amazing thing that is happening. And the Black Panther, I love the fact that they're just trying to bring that on screen, and that is something that we can applaud. And if it's going to help in any way change the narrative, then, all the better. We love it. There is so much going on in the continent, and it's not only, limited or just niched in one region. It is all over the place. There is so much advancement that is happening from the east, the west, the north, the south, and there is just so much to speak about. There is such a harmony between technology and just embracing the cultural richness of the continent. And I could go on and on, the infrastructure, the development that is happening, the cutting edge innovation. There is a whole silicon savanna, and it's being worked on, and it's going to be vibrant. It's going to be a bustling hub, an attractive investment opportunity for years to come. So it is a region coming into its own, and I'm speaking especially of sub-Saharan Africa. And, the narrative that, what good has come out of especially sub-Saharan Africa, I think that cognitive dissonance needs to be, just taken and confronted at the root, because there is so much happening. And one thing I've got to say that it's just amazing that the Black Panther film, I think it's going to help shape what is really on the ground, creating a new narrative. And I feel like the execution of this film will be seamless and will resonate with so many on the continent as a projection of what is a reality, and not having to explain it or have forced exposition about it. It just is, and I think it will be brilliant. So the inspiration of this actually stemming from reality, for me, is just a great thing. I'm so excited for it. I just could go on and on about this because I feel like at last on screen we are moving towards a narrative that is already in life, that we already have come to know. And this continent is really a place that is now reflecting so many people's dreams and ideals, and it's a warm and a welcoming place to everyone. So Black Panther, I think, is great, not only for just speaking right now as someone, a person of color. And by the way, when we say black and white, I have got to say that this is color white. This is color black. I have not met a white person just yet. So I think we are all, human beings. We are of the human race, and love should dominate. But speaking just concerning the narrative, I'm so happy about what this film is gonna do. And Chadwick Boseman, he is gonna do a great job. He absolutely had the greatest performance for me, and top performance in Civil War. He was just something so refreshing in Civil War, and he is just a part of the continent. He's a child of this continent, and there is no, it's a black American playing an African. No, he is blood. He is from this continent, so he is all right to play that role. I think that, and I think many people in the continent think that as well. And I think I'm just going to voice it out. So I'm excited to see everyone in the cast. We wish them all well, and I think this film is going to do great because it's not going to be preachy. It's just going to be inspired retelling of a story that we already, who have been born here, those who have visited here, we only know it too well. So on screen, we are moving towards that, and that is amazing. That is great. I am happy to see a new image and a new narrative of sub-Saharan Africa, and I am excited for what this film has in store, because Africa has a future, and the future is bright, and the future is now. Just as a by the way, if you're not someone who identifies as a person of color, just know that this is not an exclusion topic. It's just more like a discussion, and something that is putting forth the opportunity to see the sub-Saharan region in a different light. And I'm telling you, people from the continent, they're so happy when we hear of other people's progress, and it's just time for us to have a chance to reshape our own narrative in terms of not only that which we are accomplishing now, but what we have accomplished, and trying to put the stories back in light, and know that Africa can have a positive past, positive in terms of what we have achieved, and not be puffed up or super proud about it. No, just humble to know that even we have a great history, and reclaiming it, and not having it be something that is in your face in a negative way. So it's just great. I hope that this film opens up conversations that are positive. I think there's so much to glean for everyone. So I'm looking forward to what everyone is gonna say, and I'm happy to have shared the images that were coming up as I was speaking about this, just to help reshape the narrative of not only Africa as a whole, but especially the sub-Saharan part of the continent, because there is so much that is unexplored in terms even of history that needs to be delved into, and so much that has been accomplished over the years, that has been, the narrative has been subverted, not only from people from the continent of Africa, but people of color all over the world, and having their narratives kind of hidden or obscured, or even just plainly retold in a way that is not true to form. So I hope that as you have seen these images, that they have been as inspirational and eye-opening to you as they have been to me. I have learned so much, and the amazing thing is that this is just the tip of the iceberg. I have not even begun to excavate the riches of knowledge that still await, and there is just so much information on the subject that I could not possibly fit it all into this one video. These things that I've found, I'm glad that they challenge untruths, misconceptions, distortions about the continent as well as its people, and we need to acknowledge history, never shying away from it, because it is a catalyst to provoke thought. And this is a challenge to remember. So I'm going to leave one space in this video, and it's going to be blank. One frame, one page, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to leave one space just as it is. And this is for every person who has roots in the continent, who over the years has ever done anything that deserves our acknowledgement, anything that is noteworthy, they who have paved the way and made significant contributions and got acknowledged, as well as they who did not. And also, this is for you who is watching right now, who has roots in the continent, who aspires to greatness. Dream it, achieve it. This page is for you. Fill it. Write your story here. I also want to say something else to our brothers and sisters from every other race. But first, before I say that, I would like to say this to those who are considered quote-unquote white, or to quote an interesting way I heard it put, those who have come to be called white. It's very interesting that I heard that put that way, which made me think of it. And I do feel like it's kind of unfair to your own individual rich backgrounds and heritage just to be lumped together like that, white. Really, as you examine it, white is a fairly recent man-made social construct that has forced many, not all, but quite a few, into a position that they felt, to say it as it was put, I think, to give up who they are individually, their cultural heritage, and to buy into an idea of collective whiteness. And the reality is that you are English, you are Hungarian, you are from Romania, from Denmark, Croatia, Netherlands, Russia, Germany, you are Italian, you're from Belgium, and on and on. So, white, that label. I think it's tragic for that reason. Now, I don't say all have done that, but some, so let's just make that clear. That's just as a by the way, but I would love to say something to all my brothers and sisters from all races, every ethnic, cultural background, who has stood alongside their fellows from the continent, who have loved them unconditionally, who have shouted from the rooftops for their stories to be told, who have laughed with their brothers and sisters as they laughed, cried with them when they cried, rejoicing with them when they rejoiced, that I would like to say that this is for you. Thank you. And I think that it is so good that we have so many people contributing towards these conversations, because we are dismantling these distortions together. And, that love, it's going to help us move towards more wholesome and healthy relationships. So I'm so happy for that. So it's good to see us coming back to knowing that there is something great that is happening. Even here in sub-Saharan Africa, there is something absolutely great, and we're happy for everyone having their own innovation all over the world. But I think that we're going to have a new imagination of the context of what is happening in the continent. So as I've shared these images with you, I hope you enjoyed them, and I would like to point out something, that I only included one image from the northern part of Africa in the whole of this, and this was just to highlight a point with the cleanest of intentions, that the negative portrayal that the sub-Saharan part of Africa has received, that it's not as it seems, that there are good things happening here, and I just hope that this video and the things you've seen here have served to highlight that. So I would also like to talk about one more thing. Africa and technology. Some people cannot even fathom those two in one sentence. It is such a break in what their paradigm is, but I would like to just try and shift your perspective. And it occurred to me that as I was putting this video together and researching things for myself, that as you think upon those who researched Africa's past civilizations, it's amazing that anytime they found anything that was, anything that looked wonderful, that they would always attribute it to somebody else. It was never the work of those in the vicinity or those who came before them. And there was such a negative bias in any study concerning civilization in Africa. So as they are discovering more and more is coming to light, but it's up to not only those who are discovering these things and those who have come forward and have been open with what they discover, but it's upon you to go and research these things for yourself, because it is plain to the eye. Some of these wonderful, talented, gifted, wise men, African men, they did astounding things. And I read an article recently, and it was about a statue that had been discovered in the heart of Sudan, deep in Sudan. And the archaeologists and their team that were trying to lift up this, it was a statue that was found of his, and first and foremost, the material it was made of was carved out of a location that was so far away from where this actual statue was found, and the weight of it was 1 ton. And it took 18 men, I remember reading this article, 18 men to lift just the head and the torso of this statue onto a truck. And for them, it was just an absolute nightmare of work and just energy that they had to, to put in, not only to move this statue from where it was into the truck, but to move it without breaking it. And it was just astounding to them how they even got the statue, talking about the ancient Egyptians. How did they get this statue from where it was to this place? And I've read online, people have theorized on what they could have used to move these heavy rocks and whatnot. And I'm amazed that these wonderful African men, who they call Nubian, some of these kings that are, categorized as the Nubian kings, like a complete cutoff from anything that was from before that, just to kind of delineate anything good did not come from these guys. I would like you to just consider this. This man right here who we are talking about, it's astounding to me that these feats of architectural just knowledge and excellence, and the works of art that he did, and his whole team, his architects and the builders, all of them, these wonderful African men full of wisdom, they took all that knowledge, they took the secrets to their graves, and it's just astounding. So Africa and technology can be in one sentence. Sub-Saharan Africa and technology can be in one sentence. And as I said before, it is a challenge to remember, I think, and not only for those who look from without, looking into Africa and studying it, but for we ourselves to take it upon ourselves and know that we are literally capable of so much if we can just believe it in ourselves and not in a prideful way. So I think that Black Panther, this film, is gonna be such a paradigm shift for everyone watching, just to rethink Africa and its past and the legacy of they who have come before us. We can be able to uncover things that are so wonderful. And in no way, as I talk right now about ancient Egypt, I am not advocating for their system of worship. This is just a disclaimer right here. They had gone off the rails, calling themselves gods, and we know that even if a comet was headed their way, they could not even stop it, and that takes God level ability to know that and to stop it. So that just puts it back into perspective. These were just people endowed with wisdom, endowed with knowledge, and just a capacity that is mind-boggling. And it is an amazing thing, this Black Panther film, just to mirror that and to help reshape a paradigm that is lost concerning people's thoughts towards the continent, and even a respect that is owed to some of these men and women and their legacies. And I'm so excited for Black Panther film. If I've not said that before, I'm saying it again because I believe that this is gonna be so life-changing to see ourselves and to know that we can also have a positive image reflected back upon us. That is just amazing to me. So those are just some of my thoughts about the Black Panther film. I'm so glad to share this with you and all these images just to challenge misconceptions about the continent, about sub-Saharan Africa, and I'm just excited for, as I said, this whole new imagery that's going to emerge about this part of Africa from this film, and I am so excited about it. But please share your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to read them. Thank you for watching this. I love you guys, and I will catch you in my next reaction or review. God bless.